welcome back to Times Square today. I'm your host, Bob Genny, and joining me is Steve Hasenmueller. Now, Steve, we got to know each other last night at the Broadway event. I thought it was awesome. You're a producer, a Broadway producer, a sales trainer, motivational speaker. I mean, you wear a tremendous amount of hats. How do our viewers, how do the people at home right now get in touch with you? How do they know what it is that they can glean from your experiences?
Is that your first question?
Yeah.
And that sounds like, how do you get in touch with you? It's the last question, bro.
Okay. Tell our viewers how you can serve them. What can you bring to the table for them?
Well, I am a sales trainer.
Yep.
And I'm collecting words that mean nothing, and this is at the very top of it.
All right.
Sales training, what does it mean?
Yeah.
You'll listen to something I say and go back to what you're doing. That's been my experience for 30 years, right?
Right.
So really, it should be called self-training.
Okay.
Where we take an accountability aspect of new information. That's what training is.
Yeah.
New information that then I can use in my life to hopefully, make progress and move it down the road.
Sure.
Seth Godin, who I'm a big fan of,
Yeah.
he's a genius in insights. He says that in his experience, 90% of salespeople are below average.
Yeah.
And I've never had anyone really dispute that. When I say, hey, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's probably right.
Sure.
90%.
And why is that? Why is
Well, because there's the stigma, and there is this whole thing about what being a salesperson is,
Right.
So this is where we are. We're 90% or below average. How do we get here? How do we remain here?
Yeah.
So we do have to change the narrative.
Sure.
That's what we do. We have to change the narrative in that, and it's going to take the salesperson and the self-training,
Yeah.
aspect of it to do that.
So you got to look in the mirror basically and evaluate how much or how little am I bringing to the table right now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in sales my whole life, whether it was selling myself, selling, whatever it is. And I was fascinated by our conversation last night, just your energy and your ability to kind of just turn it on and go. The hardest thing I think people have with sales, right, is that you almost get too much freedom, right? And people can kind of suffocate on that freedom.
Right.
Have you seen that in your
Well, I
history?
think what happens is when I think back on my career, I think I got lucky. But when it was happening, I didn't feel lucky.
Right.
Right? I got hired by a small company, small manufacturer. I didn't want to get hired by a small company. I want to get hired by a big.
Right.
We had limited resources. I didn't want limited resources. I wanted unlimited
I want
resources.
all the story. Yeah, give me.
They wanted me to start a training program. I didn't know how to start a training program. I want someone to tell me how to. But all those things, what do we have to do? We have to be scrappy. You have to learn. You have to grow. You have to go. There's this thing called Gilbert's Law that says once you accept a task, it's your responsibility to figure out how to do the job.
Oh, I
right? So stop looking up like a baby bird
Yeah.
for a mom.
Feed me.
Truly, no one's coming to help us. No one's coming to the rescue. But the other thing in that time of lucky, we were a small company, making it work, calling on small companies. It was limited resources.
Right.
There's over 6 million small businesses in America under $20 million. They don't have training programs.
Right.
So what do? A lot of them do nothing. A lot of people I called on did nothing for their salespeople, yet the salespeople have to make it happen.
Yeah.
So the salespeople, what I call the rank and file, I say that with love and admiration.
Sure.
I come from the rank and file.
Right
I
on.
am rank and file right now.
Yep.
But there's no one really coming. And so that's really my message too, is like I want to be a resource that if your company doesn't invest in you, you invest in yourself.
Yep.
And
Come
there's
to
a
me, I
resource
got
to
you.
do it. Yeah.
Yes.
And that to understand no one's coming to save you, so you're
Yep.
going to have to do it.
I love that message. One of my favorite mentors used to always tell me, "Hey, the cavalry ain't coming." Right? So get on
Once
board.
you understand that, it's freeing.
Yeah.
But when you're waiting for it over and over for a career,
You're not feeling lucky in those moments.
no, and I've seen, throughout my time, a lot of sales guys just they flatline, they burn out or whatever, because there's a lot more to it. Any job that you take seriously, cameraman, be a cameraman,
Yep.
your insurance, your if you take it seriously, you understand how hard it is.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a tough business.
Yeah.
Sales is a tough business, but not because it's dog eat dog, Glengarry Glen Ross,
Right.
which I saw the other night.
I love it. I still love that movie.
Yep. It's because it's a lot of work to do. There's a
Yeah.
lot of accountability and integrity, which you never think about a salesperson in those two words.
Right. Yeah, you sure don't. You're thinking like, I don't mean this as a negative, but you like hear the used car salesman mantra, right? So people think, oh, that's what every sales guy is. I love that you say accountability and integrity. Those are two most important things. Loyalty,
Yeah.
right? Coming to the table, so doing what you say and saying what you do, right? I mean, I love that stuff.
I was rolling through for years going, why? Why don't people get better? Really?
Yeah.
And then it came, I don't know, aha moment or whatever, is that our efforts have to be values-based, right? Values are perseverance. You don't quit when it gets tough, man.
Right.
You don't go on. Accountability, it's all on you. I don't know if you know who Jocko Willink is, the Navy SEAL.
Yeah, sure do.
Extreme ownership. He
Yeah.
takes it to a
Extreme
other level.
ownership.
So
Yeah.
wherever we are and wherever he is, we got to get somewhere there. Diligence, which is another word for effort. My company, Effort Today.
Yep.
You got to make an effort, consistent effort. Anything you want to achieve that's worthwhile is going to take effort.
Right.
And you just have to say, oh, I don't want to do that, but I got to. If I want,
You got to be committed to getting there.
And then the discipline.
Yep.
The ability to do the right thing. Something for your future self. Discipline.
Yeah.
And then integrity. But with integrity and accountability, those others will come. But if my work there is values based, I can make progress.
Yeah.
That's just work, right?
Right.
What's going to drive that? And this is where people flatline, burn out, whatever. Is that then you have to have principles. It has to be a principled effort, and this is life principles.
Sure.
Right? Your physical, diet, exercise, sleep.
Yeah.
Mental, reading, writing, learning, dude. This world is tougher than ever.
Yeah.
What goes into our head on a daily basis is more than a human being used to get in a whole lifetime.
Yeah, I was gonna say
700 years ago. Whole lifetime, every day.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Physical, mental, spiritual.
Yep.
I used to get worried about this. People get weird about that, but they don't. They're like ethics. Everybody knows what that is. Generosity. Reverence for life. We got to have that component.
Yeah.
Relationships, there's all the Harvard studies and everything.
Sure.
It's not the money, it's not the things, it's the relationships in your life that you look back and
Those are the values. Yeah.
and the point. And the last one is financial. You got to be stable. You can't
Sure.
money problems.
Yep.
But see, none of these things take care of themselves.
Right.
Right. It's the second law of thermodynamics, which is anything you don't pay attention to gets worse.
Yeah.
But those things, so people get really good at their jobs, but then their health suffers.
Right.
I always ask them, what do you want to take an F in on those? Give yourself a grade.
Yeah.
So, but if you're value-based and principled, then you've got this internal tension or whatever that keeps you going, keeps you growing.
Yeah.
And it's the stereotypes and the prejudice that makes
Yeah.
it all go wrong.
Right.
But it takes two people to make that true, and I'm going to ruin your stereotype.
Right. There you
got
go.
a stereotype of salespeople? That's our job, though. Our job is to ruin it,
Yeah.
ruin
I
the
love
stereotype and the prejudice.
We're coming in to wreck that whole plan that you had and what we think
whatever
this
you
guy
got,
is.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, I love your energy, Steve. I knew when I met you yesterday, I was like, I love this guy. And I love talking to you. I mean, and having grown up with a family full of salespeople too.
Well, everyone's in sales.
Yeah.
Daniel Pink.
You always
Sale is human.
Yeah.
It's like everyone needs it in some component of their job.
Yeah.
It's like only 1 out of 9 people is in like a true sales role.
Right.
But then 6 out of 9 need it on a daily basis to be effective.
Sure.
And then 9 out of 9, you want your first keynote I gave when I retired from normal work was to a group of school teachers, administrators, 300 administrators.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not here to try to convince you yourselves, but you want your kids to come to class, want them to do their homework, You're in sales,
You're in
man.
sales, yeah. So true. Hey, guess what? Even saying something like this is going to be on your permanent record, if you can say that convincingly enough, you just sold them on that, right?
Exactly.
No, I love that. So now, okay, for you, I would imagine you probably got countless stories of examples where people have come to you and maybe they're flatlining or maybe they're just not succeeding.
Right.
Share with our viewers a story like that where you've turned somebody around.
Okay, well, and this is an important concept too, is that no one ever calls me when things are good, right?
Yeah.
It's like things suck, so we got to do something.
Yeah.
We're probably going to blame our salespeople because they're the easiest ones to blame, but we're going to blame somebody. Sales, marketing, product, pricing, we're going to blame somebody.
Yeah.
So a company had a big product launch. Everyone's excited. Great product. Big product launch, a lot of money, a lot of energy. It didn't go well, right? And they didn't. They were like, they didn't know why.
Yeah.
So they're like, they want to blame the salespeople. Come on in and fix my salespeople. Okay, that's not really my job. So anyway, but here's the thing. Here's where it went wrong, right? I've asked this question for 30 years, is that what is the most influential aspect of any sale? And for 30 years, I have gotten this wrong answer from someone.
Yep.
Price.
Right.
Price.
Yep.
So even sales guys say our pricing wrong, whatever. Okay, that's wrong. It was wrong 30 years ago, it's wrong today. The number one most influential aspect of any sale is the salesperson, right? So that's on you, Bob. Wear a nice jacket, know your product, show up, be engaging, ask me about me, look me in the eye.
Yeah.
Air.
Right.
Air carries a very powerful,
my
aspect
gosh.
of life. Okay, so it's you. That's a lot of pressure, right? The second most important part is your company. Who are you? How can I trust you? You could be around 100 years, but maybe I've never heard of you because I'm never thinking about this product.
Right.
Then it's the product. So if you want to take the product and say, look at us, we're the greatest thing in the whole wide world, you're taking number 3 and you're putting it at 1.
Yeah.
And saying here, but it's like, hey, I don't know you, I know your company.
People aren't
subconsciously.
Yeah.
So you're gonna sell somebody that's gonna be disappointing.
Right.
But if you take this knowing it's you, salesperson, so that's why even companies, you gotta invest in your salespeople, help them,
Right.
help you. and there's your company, there's product, and there's price. And in the absence of those three, then it is price.
Right.
But I don't work with companies that sell commodities because that is, you don't need, it is price. But
Gosh, so when you were saying that, when you asked that rhetorical, in my mind, I thought it's got to be the relationship,
no doubt about it.
you know, and it's still in our land of technology and advancements and everything else. They always think that everybody can push a button and fix it. It still comes down to you and me connecting.
And
right?
it's a tough one because the data, they do the data. Like when you think of the word salesperson, what do you think about? Pushy, aggressive, dishonest. You know, no one thinks of something good.
Right.
And so we're dealing with that no matter what.
Right.
Then I gotta go ruin that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You got to blow that thing up.
So I think so I do have a book that I'm working on. It's taking a lot longer, a lot harder. It's a good thing I've got perseverance and accountability because I would quit.
Yeah.
But salesperson, that word's never going to be a good one, right?
Right.
So I want to change that whole dynamic to sales hero, right? What if you thought of yourself as a sales hero? You know, the characteristics of a hero: courageous, selfless, inspiring, integrity, perseverance, right?
Right.
Wow. You know, what if that's how I thought of what I need to bring to the work every day?
Amazing.
Well, what percentage of sales heroes would be below average? Zero, bro, because you're either there.
Because you went from zero to hero. That's exactly what you did. Oh, I love that, buddy. I'll read that one. I can promise you that. Well, listen, I know you've got a ton of clients out there and a lot of people who I'm sure are trying to get a hold of you. We want to make sure if someone needs your services that they know exactly how to find you.
Right.
How would you recommend they do that?
Best way is email.
Yeah.
Steve, my company's efforttoday.com. One last thing I want to tell you is that, because I always feel like even when I talk to someone, we got to get down to the base. We got to get to the basic, the basics to make progress. Progress, not perfection. You know, you want to go from here to here and you can't, but you got to make progress. Drip, drip, drip every day.
Yeah.
Everything compounds one direction or the other, right?
Yep.
Positive, negative compounds. But there's three pillars of progress, the basic, to where we build everything from that. Number one, I've already said it once, anything worth achieving requires effort.
Yep.
Right? Get up, make your bed. I'm sure you do. There's some science behind that.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
But anyway, make that effort.
Yep.
You know, shave, cut your hair. Anything worth achieving that you want to do, just understand it's going to take effort.
Right.
Probably more and longer than you thought. Today's the most important day of your life. That starts to sound like rah-rah, which I don't mind rah-rah.
I like it.
But tell me, what can you do about yesterday?
Yeah, right.
Tomorrow, uncertain at best.
Yeah.
Uncertain at best.
Yeah.
We hope.
Yeah.
We think. We plan. But if you have any chance of getting something for the future, it is today. You got to take action today.
Love that. Yeah.
And then every day is a presentation. Every day is a presentation. Presentations are meant to inform, persuade, inspire, motivate, right?
Yep.
So if somebody said, hey, you got to give a presentation, you're going to learn it, you're going to dress nice, you're going to get a night's sleep. Well, you got to do that every single day because you're bringing it to your spouse, to your coworkers, to your colleagues.
So true.
Every day. So those three things, your effort today on your presentation, drip, 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 day by day, and you will have outsized gains.
I love that. I love it.
So all that to say, Steve at efforttoday.com.
Yep.
And there's a hyphen, efforttoday.com.
Okay.
And then I am on LinkedIn under my name.
Perfect.
And I have a YouTube channel called Steve Hasenmueller Sales, and it's really just short 3 to 5 minute clips explaining these concepts
of
the value-based to principle. I got a whole Unity crazy thing. So just understanding that to where it's a resource, even if you don't want to buy the book, even if you don't want to do anything, it's a resource to maybe do things different.
Yeah, set the framework for your day. I love that. I mean, that's a takeaway I've gotten already. I could listen to you talk about this all day. And I've always been fascinated by this stuff because my mindset was always, an amateur focuses on results, professional focuses on process, right? So same process every day, like you said, drip, 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 sharpen that saw, sharpen that saw. I love it, Steve.
Journey.
I feel like, man, I could benefit a lot from what you do. And I love it. I know our viewers could as well. So thank you for joining us here today. I appreciate it. And thank you all for watching Times Square today. We'll be back.